Hi, everybody. This review is on the new Loud House movie, No Time to Spy. So, the plot of this movie is the Loud family all goes to this tropical resort because Myrtle and their pop are getting married, and Lincoln becomes obsessed with Myrtle's double life as a secret agent after he finds out that she's been a spy all along, and then they get caught up in a bit of a predicament as this tour this tour guide named Fifi, voiced by Amy Sedaris, guides them throughout. And gee, I wonder if she's a villain. Yes, she ends up being a villain, and because she imprisoned, I think it was her brother that was imprisoned by Myrtle. So she wants to get revenge on Myrtle by shooting her into space. So Lincoln and Myrtle have to dodge all the danger they can and protect their family and hopefully save the whole wedding. This was a pretty fun film, actually. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's gonna end up in my top 10 of this year, but for what it is, I did really enjoy this one. Heck, I dare even say it was better than the first Loud House movie because, okay, the first Loud House movie was good as well, but this one, I kind of like how it didn't really feel like a Loud House episode. It actually did feel like a movie, even down to the point where the plot didn't even feel like a Loud House episode. Because let's be real, the Loud House is more of a slice of life sitcom. Like most of it's just a bunch of kids running around in a house and a whole bunch of, you know, kid shenanigans happen. This one, it's a parody of spy films. Like even the whole beginning actually does parody all those intros to James Bond movies because you can't have a film without doing some kind of parody of a James Bond intro. And even the animation is really amped up. Like it looks a lot more expensive. Like the shading is sticks out more and the animation's more fluid. Not that the show has bad animation, it still does, but this one, yeah, you could tell it's more movie quality. And it's fun. Like it was a definitely a very interesting choice because we all know in the show Lincoln's a very imaginative kid and he likes spies and action stuff and superheroes and all the cool boy stuff. So putting him in a situation where he can understand the danger is actually a good concept given he lives in a family with 10 sisters who probably have no interest in whatever Lincoln's into. It's it was kind of a nice little idea to have Lincoln be, the character you'd least expect to be the hero actually have his moment to shine. And even his interactions with Myrtle, his relationship with her is really good. They really do have good chemistry. Like Lincoln's the more energetic, determined one, while Myrtle's kind of the more um, experienced and more frightened one. But even though Myrtle does try her best to be brave and still face the danger, but you could tell Lincoln's not really experienced, so of course he'll think it's fun at first and then he'll realize no, not really. And yeah, the whole thing about how Fifi, who is the villain, like you can tell she's the villain right away just by like I don't know. I feel kids films always have predictable twist villains. The the first scene she shows up, she greets the Louds when they arrive at the resort, and you're like, yeah, she's gonna be the villain, isn't she? But I guess that's not the movie's fault. I mean, I mean, I feel with twist films, I bet even 5-year-olds can figure out who the villain is right away. Like, I get it. It's a spy film. Like, it's supposed to be like a parody of the genre. So I guess they kind of want to play with a bit of the spy film cliches. But even then, it just feels like a typical predictable twist villain. But that's not the movie's fault. In fact, it's very creative and fun, and you do get a lot of really good visual jokes actually given lots of the. Okay, I know it seems like a bit of a stretch to call this an action movie, but lots of the action scenes they're very funny and they're very they have a lot of energy to them and they're definitely a lot of fun to watch if you just want to see some cartoon characters bounce around and such. And they even do the whole thing where they try to get into the room and like they wear a disguise and then it ends up being somebody's birthday because yeah, that's kind of a cliche joke when they're like, hey, I know what's going on. It's you remembered my birthday, like yeah. It does kind of have a bit of cliche jokes, but once in a while they do play around with some inventive ideas. So it's familiar in some cases, but yeah, as a Loud House movie goes, it gets the job done. It doesn't feel like an episode of the show. It tries to be fast paced, inventive, and all around fun, and in a lot of ways, it does its job. So it's a good film, even if a lot of the characters, like I said, are underused because this is mostly about Lincoln. But it kind of makes sense given they kind of give him an actual stuff to do. So the whole story is that Lincoln is using his strength. So even if you want to see all the other characters, you might be disappointed in that aspect. But if you just want to see a fun Loud House film, if you want to see, a story that's not really fit for a small episode and something that's actually more interesting and exciting, I think it's a good one to check it out, especially if you have kids who like the show. I think it's a good family film to watch. I mean, okay, it's no Inside Out 2, but this movie, it was still fun for what it was. So yeah, as someone who likes The Loud House, I did quite like this movie. So see you later, guys.